Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing 4-player chess, where 4 players move clockwise and collect points by capturing enemy pieces. A checkmate is worth 20 points, and the player with the most points gets 3 wins. Second place gets 1 win, third place gets 1 loss, and fourth place gets 3 losses. My goal is to get 3 wins. Let's get started with game number 1. Okay, game number 1, I have not played one of these in a very long time. Red does get to move first. Who are we up against? We're up against a basically 2000 rated player playing with the red pieces, a 1500 with the blue pieces, and a 2200 rated opponent with the green pieces. Now, red has just made their first move. This is a very common strategy at the beginning because the queen and the bishops get to come out flying, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. We'll come out swinging, even though this does seem like a kind of passive move. So that's a recurring theme, right? You can see the bishop immediately comes out, so maybe red and myself can coordinate to attack on green. Is blue plotting the same thing on me? It doesn't really matter because my pawn does a nice job of defending, so let's move you up, okay, right? Because we're trying to unleash the queen and maybe coordinate with red here. So that's one very common tactic, right? Bringing out the queens and the bishops nice and early. You can see that green blocks our attack. And then another very common tactic is just pushing the pawns towards the center, because you can see there's this very tiny little gray dot in the middle of the board, and that's because when pawns cross that gray dot so that it's equidistant for everybody, they promote. We do get knight out. Now, what do I actually do to continue this? Maybe I just kind of mind my own business a little bit. That was my strategy when I first played this many months ago. Let me try just developing my pieces maybe. Or wait, no, red did this, so maybe we're targeting blue next. Let's go here. Let's help out our buddy red, and maybe we can knock out blue right away, because blue is rated under 1500, and I do believe that the starting rating for anybody who hasn't played a variant yet is 1500. So if they're under 1500, they've probably not had a good go of it quite yet. So does that mean that red can just take and get checkmate? I think they can, but they refuse to do so, and blue blocks anyways. But no, definitely red could have taken there and gotten checkmate, but then I would have gotten red's queen, so it would have become, or rather they would have become a target next. Okay, let's do this actually, so the queen never has any funny business down the diagonal, and we'll kind of mind our own business. It seems that these higher rated players do this kind of thorny crisscross applesauce setup. You can see that green has the exact same thing going on, just shifted over 1. So we might as well copy paste and learn from the guys that are rated several hundred points higher than we are. I've also noticed that each side only gets a minute, but I guess that kind of makes sense, since by the time it gets all the way around back to me, even though I'm yapping my face off, so I'm already lower on time than anybody else, it's supposed to be such that all 3 players' times kind of add up, and you end up getting more time to think about your own move. All right, lots of random pawn movements that I don't really think are consequential. Is there any way that I can cause problems for anybody? I don't really think there is. So I might as well just start pushing some pawns down the middle of the board. We do get this bishop coming out, attacking me down the long diagonal. So you'd imagine I should probably come and defend that in just a moment. But it doesn't really feel like anybody's doing anything. We're all kind of just standing around. All right, let me defend you. And unless blue conspires to coordinate against my knight, which is pinned, or rather now has been unpinned, I should be totally fine. It seems that blue is going for broke, however, on this pawn promotion, which is a rather exciting endeavor, but I don't think it's any of my business to stop him. So if he's, interested in getting that queen, so be it. That's somebody else's headache, not mine. I wonder if this is the dynamic for higher rated 4-player chess players, I suppose, because you can see both green and red have this extremely rock solid setup, which is really leading me to believe that they just don't want to get involved, right? They just don't want to be the first to get attacked, because if you are the first target, then you are facing up against 3 other players. Anyways, in other news, blue has in fact promoted to a 1-point queen, which by the way does move like a totally normal queen, but is possibly even more dangerous, because a 1-point queen can give herself up for a knight, which is worth, I believe, 3 points in this variant, and blue would only still be losing 1 point, and inversely, or rather therefore, when green takes back, they only gain 1 point by capturing this queen. So that's kind of like a flying bomb. You can see it's now coordinating with this. This is also something we need to think about, that when one player gets attacked, if you attack them somewhere else, then they have 2 threats that they have to deal with. I only have 15 seconds, so I'm going to shut my trap for just a moment, but I'm going to try and see if I can target somebody. Because you can see, green is only 1500 and is causing quite the headache for red, who's rated almost 2000. So really quite exciting stuff happening here. You'd imagine red has to capture, or at the very least move it out of the way. They're down to 7 seconds. Oh, they counterattack this queen, and blue had a pre-move ready. Very exciting stuff, but green and myself are definitely not getting involved. Okay, let's defend you, and then I want to move the knight out of the way. Oh, which I just realized would have defended it anyways. Anyways, close enough. Green, as you can see, playing very solid. Blue's extra queen has disappeared from the board. Blue also has more time than anybody else. Blue is coming and causing some problems over here. This is another thing. Not only can you double down 2 players on 1, but if one player overextends on their attack, you can also go and attack them. And they either have to follow through on their attack or risk leaving something hanging, or come and defend your own attack. But this game has just become a little bit too sleepy-headed for my personal liking. So we're gonna start reinvigorating everybody's blood flow here in just a moment. Because I understand that Thorny method might be the best way to not get targeted, but if it means that everybody's going to stay hunkered down in their little section until the end of time, then I have no interest. Okay, give me that. Haha! We now have 5 points. We are not the first to have points on the board, but that's the first, I think, bit of actual free material besides, this 1-point queen. Not to mention, because the board is absolutely enormous, in this variant, bishops are worth 5 points just like rooks, which I think is a pretty cool little modification. But anyways, this does make me a target, I guess, because I have an overextended bishop and I have a knight hanging around here, but blue goes, or rather red goes for the capture on blue. I'm getting targeted over here, but I kind of want to take, but if it came down to it, blue would definitely take my knight and not recapture this bishop. Oh, this is so much stuff going on. Okay, let's go here, and we're targeting this. And I think if it came down to it, because red is going to play whatever red plays, but then blue is going to take because red is going to disappear. I was going to say blue would definitely recapture here before taking my knight, but red is not going to be there because red gets to make a move, right? So there goes my knight. Okay, we might as well take back. We do get a point for our efforts. We are currently 2nd place. What did they capture here? Did they capture anything, or did they just make that move? Is that a misclick? I really have no idea what just happened here. Is there a mating threat that I'm not seeing? Because sometimes you see a crazy bomb style move like this, like a kamikaze style move, because there's like a coordination with another enemy piece, but that looks really free to me. So I'm going to take my 5 points. Green puts blue in check. Red is too far away to follow up on that bishop move, so I really don't know what happened there. But okay, red capitalizes, right? Green is attacking blue, so red capitalizes to sneak a little intermezzo attack there, even though this pawn, actually no, this pawn isn't free, but blue finds a way to stop the check, but it might be even more dangerous. How do I follow up here? Can I create a threat of my own? I only have 6 seconds to do so though. Oh, there's no time for me. Okay, I'm just gonna castle out of the way. By the way, we do get 7 seconds back for every move that we make, so I do apologize that I'm running down my time, viciously here, but I think I'll be okay. I need to find a way to start making counterplay. I'm getting attacked here, which is really scary because green can come back here, and it's really just a 1v1 between green and myself. Also, when did green promote? Did I totally miss that? Did I even say that happened? I'm losing track. There's too many pieces on the board and I'm getting confused. Okay, here comes the knight. So I basically have to capture this and hope that green doesn't harass me because I am getting, threatened with some pretty serious stuff over here. Even if I do take, then this 1-point queen gets a trade and that's also really bad. Yeah, not a lot of good things are happening for me here. My best hope is that somebody comes and bothers green to try and save the day on me, but I somehow really doubt that's going to happen. I could also just allow this capture to happen and shuffle over. And maybe they don't have follow-up, but I can't really risk it. Okay, so I'll grab these 3 points. Green is just going to take. And this is really, really bad because I'm going to be really down on points. I mean, I'll be above blue, and that's basically it. Okay, let's try our best to make something of this. First of all, I have to take this because my king is in danger. On the bright side, I can basically wait. Am I tied for points? Oh, I'm tied for first for points. The problem is I have way less material than green and red, so I'm basically still at a disadvantage unless, what just happened here? Unless green and red get into it somehow, which would be extremely interesting. Blue pondering what to do with this new information and just takes one of my pawns. Okay, he's not seeing the big picture here. Okay, do I go for green then? Surely. Right, surely I counterattack. Now green has to decide, do they take the free rook and allow me to take the knight, which they will, which is going to give me extra points. Oh, but then red comes in and, with the snipe, you son of a gun. Okay, well, if I can't have it, then you can't have it either, because I'm going to leave my bishop right there, and you can either take this knight, which is pinned, by the way, so it's not like it can really move, and I will take you back, or neither red nor myself will get the knight. right? Green comes back to defend, so I have a funny feeling that neither of us is about to be getting this knight. Right, but he already abandons. I don't really want to take that because I'd be giving up 5 points and getting 3. So maybe I just retreat for a moment. This isn't horrible because I don't think green is going to follow through on their attack. You son of a gun. Speak of the devil. I was going to say green probably won't follow through on their attack. This could just be a developing move. Maybe I just stick the king back in a corner and everything is handy dandy, which would be ideal, right? This was like the perfect world where I just keep my king in a little corner and maybe I get some kind of counterplay like this. That would be spectacular, right? Because blue's king is the most exposed by far. Ignoring myself, blue's king is definitely the weakest, right? There are a bunch of queens flying around on the board. You'd think things get a little bit dangerous. The problem is I'm still getting targeted. So I kind of don't have a choice here but to hunker down for a minute. Okay, blue's going Hail Mary again with the pawn promotion. Maybe I can do something like that. I'm not that far off and there's already a rook here. Oh, but green is just coming in to absolutely slaughter me. Okay, I wonder if that's a strategy too. Just attack the guy to your right. I think that's something that I remember, but like just completely forgot. The reason you attack the person to your right is because they make a move and you immediately get to respond, right? So these other players can cause complications. They make a move and then you immediately respond. There's no downside basically to attacking to the person on your right. Okay, so I guess we defend again. Oh, but then I'm still losing this. Yeah, no, I'm just getting slaughtered here. Yeah, GG's. And the problem is now blue can just take my rook and I'm probably, oh, blue promotes. Okay, blue is on a one-track mind today. Let's move the king out of the way, but I'm toast here anyways. Green can just take. Maybe I move out of the way and maybe somebody gets like crazy counterplay on green. Yeah, green didn't even commit to the bit. Green is a very strong player, which was already obvious by their rating, but they didn't even commit to the bit here because I move out of the way, target their queen, and then somebody else could create counterplay. Okay, green gets targeted, so maybe I just take. I do get 3 points back, which I do accept graciously. I'm still somehow ahead of blue in points, and green does retreat. Blue, my savior. Thank you for playing this. And I know that blue was probably just looking out for themselves, throwing this 1 point queen around like a very big club in the playground because they can take a queen and get 9 points and only lose a singular point in return. Okay, triple battery on this pawn. Wow, blue might actually save the day for me. I almost don't even want to attack blue. I kind of just want to like keep everything super safe. I'm just going to make a waiting move. Green is playing defense. Okay, if I can help blue in any way, just on principle, I will. Like if I can somehow bring the rook over, that would be amazing. More realistically, I should probably be attacking red or actually just attacking blue, but blue is much stronger than I am at the moment, just like every other player here. So I really do have to kind of sit around and hope that points fly onto the board. Why can't I just take you? That is 9 points, and red has the chance to just checkmate blue, which they take. Okay, so blue is out of the running. Red is probably going to win this because they have 45 points. But it's just the three of us now. Let's move the rook over. Hopefully I don't get, okay, here comes green again with funny business. So I'm going to run my king to the center of the board and just like lock him down with 10 million pawns. And then maybe I get some crazy counterplay on red. Like that's a free pawn that I can take. But then there's this discovered check, which I really don't want to walk into. Okay, they push a pawn. I can take you now. That's totally free. It's very hard too, because you have to kind of like zoom out and check if all of these different queens can attack your bishop. But now it is red's turn. Red is completely in the winning here. So red shouldn't have, or at least points wise, completely in the winning. So red doesn't really have much to lose. Let's go back here and target the rook again, maybe. We'll pin this pawn. Green's turn. They have plenty of time to think about it. 2 minutes on the clock. They move the king out of the way. So they're just playing super, yeah. Green just plays like super defensive and then waits. He's not defensive. He's very patient. He like waits and waits and waits and waits. And then when the moment is primed, boom, like he did over here, slapped 15 points of mine off the board. Okay, I have 20 minutes here, or rather 20 seconds. Let me get my head on straight. Maybe I just stay here for a minute, keep this pinned. I kind of want to help red attack green if it's at all possible, because I think red realizes that green is the biggest threat. Or me. Maybe I'm the biggest threat. Oh gosh, the idea here is check, I could lose the rook. So if I block with the pawn, maybe I live to see another day. It's very unlikely that I win this. We'll start by saying that. Very, very unlikely that I win this. Knight comes out to play. Do I have any counterplay anywhere? Maybe I slide over here and go for this. Right, in some crazy world, I have bishop back and then I play check. King moves out of the way and then checkmate, but here comes green trying to get a checkmate of their own. Red is kind of on the ropes here a little bit. Right, king moves out of the way. Now the question is, do I move you back and allow green to get the checkmate? I think I do, because then on the next turn, I would win the queen. So I'm offering green a large advantage in points. But they don't. They just take, because they know that after I take the queen, then I have more pieces than they do, so I would be winning. Red now trying to figure out how to deal with the fact that they have all of their pieces developed, but nobody to take care of the king at home. I'm going to come in sharp and try and give checkmate. So you'd imagine red has to get out of there. We'll see what green does with all of these new developments. Green simply moves out of the way, knowing that I suppose red has to deal with this checkmating threat. They basically have to move this pawn or advance the king or something of the kind. I mean, I guess they could also like sack the queen, but that seems rather silly. They have 15 seconds. Wait, can I just checkmate? Oh, wonderful. Okay, I have 49 points now and still less material than green. Wonderful. Great news. Yeah, green comes down to play. You'd imagine I get you out of there. The quicker, the better. So the thing is, if I don't play for counterplay, then I'm toast anyways. What a silly position to be in. Okay, we'll move back here so we can anchor the bishop to a pawn at least. What I really need to do is I need to promote one of these pawns ASAP, but there's so much trash in the way that it's gonna be very difficult to support that kind of advancement. Let's anchor the bishop to the pawn. Number one priority is keeping everything safe and protected. Here comes a pawn looking for trouble, also looking for promotion, I'd imagine. I just have to meet fire with fire. I have to go for promotion of my own. Otherwise, I really don't stand a chance here. Let's go over here. We support this pawn promotion with the rook, but we also cover their pawn from promoting. So we should get a queen here in just a moment, right? Because they can't push their pawn to promotion. I just take for free. And they also can't take my pawn because I've covered it with the rook. So pretty good 2-for-1 special on this rook move. I've worked my way back up to 40 seconds with all of these sort of spammed moves because I knew what I was looking for. Queen comes out to play, but I can just promote though. And via X-ray, I defend my rook and my rook defends my 1-point queen, neither of which this queen wants to take because it's worth more than both combined. So if this pawn promotes, then I take anyways, and we're back to square one in terms of the math of it all. I do have 49 points. It might not be impossible for me to win this. Queen just shuffles out of the way, threatens the bishop. I will retreat my queen, and now that I'm up material, I think my number one goal is play very solid chess here. They have a light squared bishop, so as long as I keep everything on dark squares, I should be fine. They do promote. Why can't I take you? I don't know. I'm gonna capture. I'm gonna take back. I'm assuming they want this bishop. Oh, they take my 1-point queen, which means I can take this for 9 points. Don't I just have like an enormous material advantage, or are they gonna like promote a pawn and make me regret everything? I really don't know. It's very confusing stuff. I'm gonna take this, even though it's not worth any points, for the sole purpose of pinning this pawn and not allowing it to move forward. Let's go here and start taking some more points. Or maybe I should be focused on promoting. Oh, I should definitely be focused on promoting again. I'm losing the plot here a little bit. Okay, let's move this bishop back. I definitely need to be focused on promoting. I don't even know why I was pawn hunting for a minute there. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice this bishop. I'm gonna go broke. I'm gonna go for broke. I'm not gonna go broke. I'm gonna lose all my money. No, that's not what I meant. I'm gonna go for broke. I'm gonna sack the bishop for the sole purpose of catching this pawn. This might be the most legendary, historic game of 4-player chess I've ever played and may ever play again. You guys are witnessing history. Now I can take, and then I can simply stop. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, he's coming around for the pawn promotion, but the thing is my rook has this entire open file. So unless the bishop can support it, which would mean it would have to happen on this square, then I can just sack the rook for it. So I'm gonna go for a pawn push of my own, matter of fact. Then I can take, and then I have a pawn promotion in just a couple more moves here, which is really nice. Right, they take, which means I can just take. Wow, I might actually win this. This is crazy. King comes down, but I don't care. It's not like he's gonna remove this pawn and promote this way, right? He can take this pawn, but promotion is still that way. So I can push, and I should have promotion here in just a sec. Thank you for my queen. Yes! I'm such a strong player. I definitely didn't get extremely lucky. It's really funny too, because I think I was the weakest player for a very hot second. Nice! We do get the victory! I was gonna say I wasn't getting targeted at all whatsoever because I was way worse off than anybody else, but then somehow we had that crazy comeback and then that coordination to stop green's promotion, but also support my own, which was absolutely absurd. But we did, in fact, win our game. And we got all 3 victories because we beat 3 other players. Also, let's check the chat. Pizza says, I subbed to your channel. Can I play next? I want to checkmate as a YouTuber. How are you so good? Rah! I'm really not that good. I am extremely lucky though, I will admit. Thank you so much for watching. I don't have time for another game, but I will respond. I told him to say hi to YouTube, which is you guys. And of course, I gave him the trademark smiley face. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below what other variants I should play. I am going to go through, they do say hi YouTube. I'm going to go through and play all of the variants again. I had a really hard time figuring out how to brand the series, but I think I'm just going to go in and play the games. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.